A new type of gangster is dominating the criminal scene in East and Southeast Asia. The Yakuza have lost their hold in Japan, and their importance is dwindling. Instead of accepting a similar fate, triads in Hong Kong have changed their tactics. Unwilling to defy authority, Chinese criminal groups work covertly with elements from the Communist Party, projecting their power internationally to take over drug trafficking, human smuggling, and money laundering, first in China's neighbours and then further abroad. Even in Taiwan, the powerful Bamboo Union triad worries the ruling party by cultivating ties to the mainland. Apart from this, in Southeast Asia, gangs are reaping lavish profits from the exploding meth trade. Australia's motorcycle clubs have taken note, entering Thailand en masse and setting up chapters in the country's main tourist hotspots. And in India, one fiery-eyed gangster is making waves by seeking to build a cult of personality both at home and in Canada. Here are 5 criminal threats in Asia you may not know about. I'm Chris Dolby, and welcome to World of Crime. Now, I grant you, this is an oddly, unusually grandiose and formal title for a gang. Don't worry. The rest of this list has far more reasonable gang names. Nothing as cool as the wolves, the monkeys, and the squirrels from the Latin America video, but still. The reason for the World Hongmen History and Culture Association's name is that it masquerades as something else altogether. The Hongmen, also known as the Tiandihui, or the Heaven and Earth Society, is one of China's oldest secret societies. It began in the mid-18th century as a way for elites from the outgoing Ming dynasty to resist the Manchu invasion of China. From there, the origins of the Hongmen get a bit murky, but its members swear that they were joined by monks who survived the destruction of the Shaolin monastery. In the 19th century, the Hongmen spread around the world, with Chinese immigrants creating branches in the USA, Canada, Australia, Thailand, and Malaysia. In the West, they simply became known as the Chinese Freemasons. Today, it acts as a mostly legal association for members of the Chinese diaspora, but in Hong Kong, it is heavily associated with the triads. Enter Wan Kwok Koi, alias Broken Tooth. The former head of the gigantic 14K triad in Macau, Wan was jailed for 13 years from 1999 to 2012 for illegal gambling, loan sharking, and attempted murder. Since his release, he has used the World Hongmen History and Culture Association to try and seem legitimate. With tens of thousands of members, the association has supported heavy Chinese investment in Cambodia under the Belt and Road Initiative and the development of Chinese cultural programs. But Wan has also launched 2 industrial developments in Myanmar that are clear hubs for organized crime. The first of the 2, Sai Shigang, was born in 2020 and became a pioneer for a growing criminal model in Southeast Asia. Thousands of people have been trafficked there and are forced to work in horrendous conditions in cybercrime call centers, perpetrating get-rich-quick scams. Those seeking to leave are threatened with death. Since then, a second center, known as KK Park, has opened along the Myanmar-Thailand border. An investigation by Deutsche Welle from January 2024 revealed that the World Hongmen History and Culture Association and Broken Tooth backed KK Park, and are likely complicit in tens of thousands of workers being trafficked from across Asia and Africa. The center is protected by members of the Border Guard Force, a former rebel army that made peace with the Myanmar ruling junta. One is therefore one of the main backers of a rapidly developing criminal economy, where hundreds of thousands of people are being trafficked specifically to work in these cybercrime gulags. The US has taken notice, slapping sanctions on both Wan and the World Hongmen History and Culture Association in 2020. But the Broken Tooth has powerful paymasters. While never being fully recognized by the Chinese Communist Party, Wan has given himself a layer of respectability by attaching his developments to China's Belt and Road Initiative, a colossal investment program by Chinese interests around the world. And additionally, Wan is suspecting of maintaining close money laundering connections to his old triad, the 14K. Lawrence Bishnoi is probably India's most talked about criminal. In a country where powerful and mysterious gang bosses are thin on the ground, The constant acts of violence, the gang rivalries, and the frequent defiance of authority attributed to Bishnoi have made constant headlines. But first, who is this kingpin with the rather magnificent moustache? Bishnoi was born in 1993 as the son of a police officer in the northwest Indian state of Punjab. His life of crime appears to have begun during his days at Punjab University, when he became heavily involved in student politics. Now, student unions at prominent Indian universities have long had connections to organised crime, and the position of student union president at Punjab University was no different. Bishnoi lost an election for the post in 2010, and he then became embroiled in a feud with a local gang that escalated quickly. The feud got so personal that Bishnoi's girlfriend at the time, a woman named Kajal, was burned alive by his enemies. Some media reports have claimed that it was Kajal's assassination that prompted Bishnoi to start a life of crime. However, he had already been connected to acts of violence, rioting, theft, and firearms offences, along with his right-hand man, Goldie Brar. After her death, Bishnoi quickly retaliated by trying to assassinate the man who had beaten him in that student union election at his home. While Bishnoi was not arrested, he soon began cultivating a violent reputation, and became involved in murder, witness intimidation, arms trafficking, and liquor smuggling. In 2014, he was arrested but escaped custody and briefly fled to Nepal, before being re-arrested and jailed in 2015. While he has been behind bars ever since, Bishnoi has remained one of India's most influential gang bosses. In 2018, he became embroiled in a scandal with one of the most famous actors in Bollywood, Salman Khan. Khan had allegedly shot dead 2 black buck deer while filming a movie in Rajasthan in 1998, for which he received a commuted jail sentence. The black buck is a sacred animal to the Bishnoi community, a Hindu subsect to which Lawrence belongs. The Bishnoi believe the black buck to be the reincarnation of 15th century guru Bhagwan Jampeshwar, and Lawrence swore vengeance. One of his associates admitted to police that Lawrence had ordered him to scope out Salman Khan's house with a view to assassinating him. Salman was granted the right to carry a firearm and a security detail as a result. The feud may not be over. In November 2023, shots were fired at the house of Punjabi actor Gippy Grewal in Vancouver, Canada, with Bishnoi claiming responsibility on social media due to Grewal's alleged friendship with Salman Khan. But, in turn, Bishnoi has come in for mockery on social media for using Salman Khan's name to remain relevant. The man certainly has a penchant for being noticed, as he has appeared for court appearances wearing expensive t-shirts and branded face masks. Bishnoi also has close connections to Canada, as his number 2 Goldie Brar moved there in 2017. Brar is now one of Canada's most wanted men, for allegedly carrying out a series of high-profile murders in both countries, and for becoming embroiled in a diplomatic scandal between Canada and India over the actions of the Khalistan movement, a separatist group seeking an independent state for Sikhs in Punjab. In 2024, Bishnoi can grab headlines. Gangland arrests across northern and western India are frequently connected to him, despite Bishnoi now being jailed in Delhi to distance him from his Punjab power base. With little indication that Bishnoi has seen his power curtailed behind bars, he remains one of India's principal security threats. If you find the mental picture of leather jacket sporting, motorhead blasting bikers cruising around the back roads of Thailand amusing, you're not the only one. But they do pose a very real threat. In 2023, a UNODC analyst claimed that the Golden Triangle, where Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos meet, may be the world's biggest global meth trafficking spot. That has been enough to attract attention from drug trafficking gangs around the world. In a strange move, it appears that Australian biker gangs, who dominate the meth trade down under, have set up official chapters in various parts of Thailand. While some of their activities seems legitimate, the gangs have been regularly connected to meth and marijuana trafficking. Some of the world's foremost biker gangs are now in Thailand, including the Hells Angels, the Bandidos Motorcycle Club, and the Mongols. But the largest culprits are the Outlaws. In July 2023, Thai police raided the Outlaws Motorcycle Club outpost in the tourist hotspot of Pattaya, and arrested several biker gang members, including the Outlaws leader in the country, identified only as Mr. Thomas. This raid followed the murder of Hans-Peter Walter Mack, a German real estate broker near Pattaya in June. Mack, who had once been arrested for sex crimes against minors, allegedly ran afoul of the Outlaws. Since this raid, Thai police have admitted that most gangs in Thailand are now run by Australian nationals. The Outlaws, for example, maintained bases in Pattaya, Koh Samui and Phuket, all tourist destinations. There, they and other motorcycle clubs extort Thai and expat-owned businesses, as well as engaging in drug trafficking, money laundering and theft. The raids have continued against the Outlaws. In November 2023, a Thai man connected to the Outlaws was arrested for operating a gambling ring and for human trafficking in Bangkok. He allegedly ran an illegal gambling website, and assets worth over $4 million were seized from his property, including 2 Harley-Davidsons and a Triumph motorcycle. Police have even suggested changes to Thailand's visa laws to try and prevent further criminals from entering from abroad. I don't like choosing an entire type of criminal group, instead of focusing on just one for these videos. But the Fujian Mafia's way of operating makes it difficult to identify just one group. The story of Fujianese migration is a global one, with communities establishing themselves in Hong Kong, Southeast Asia, across the United States and in Canada. While these migrations have led to vibrant Fujianese communities abroad, they've also provided a foundation for organized crime to spread its influence internationally. The diaspora has been a critical factor in the expansion of organized crime. Fujianese Mafia have often collaborated with other groups, such as the Chinese triads, the Japanese Yakuza, and various mafia groups in the United States. These activities typically include operating legitimate businesses like casinos, entertainment venues, and beauty parlors that double as fronts for drug trafficking and prostitution. Several stories from the last year highlight their opportunistic and secretive nature. In 2023, the Bang family network was uncovered in Chile. The Bang group had been bringing in Chinese migrants to work on colossal marijuana operations, the product of which was then sold to other organized crime networks. Women were forced into sexual trafficking at karaoke bars and other venues. The Bang network had already surfaced in Spain in 2021, where it produced industrial quantities of marijuana, again grown by Chinese migrants. In August, a separate Fujian Mafia was uncovered in Singapore for allegedly running a lucrative money laundering and forgery ring. Assets worth around $730 million were seized, including numerous luxury vehicles and high-end properties in Sentosa Cove and other wealthy neighborhoods in Singapore. The main suspect, Su Baolin, has also been connected to gambling sites in Myanmar and cryptocurrency fraud. While 10 individuals were arrested, Singaporean police believe the mafia ring continues to be active and could have hundreds of members. Finally, an investigation by ProPublica in July 2023 revealed the long-term connections of Fujianese Mafia to Italy's region of Calabria, where they are involved in extortion, migrant smuggling, prostitution, and drug trafficking. Much like the Hongmen earlier in this video, the Fujian Mafias operate under the radar of Chinese cultural associations and have close connections to official Chinese investments, which gives them a strong degree of political protection. The Fujian Mafia are clearly defined as one of the most influential types of Chinese organized crime around the world, but the full spread of their operations has only begun to be uncovered. We end this list with the big boys. The Bamboo Union is the closest thing to a traditional Chinese triad in this video, but they're here for a reason. Based on the island of Taiwan, the Bamboo Union was formed by mainland Chinese citizens in the 50s who sought to protect themselves after settling on the island. In the 1960s, the gang became more sophisticated and entered the protection game, extorting local shops and factories. They would work with the mainland owners of nightclubs and bars to drive off native Taiwanese gangs. Their leader, Zhang Anle, known as the White Wolf, even began setting up international connections, spending time in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and New York to create ties with Chinese gangs there. But during this time, the Bamboo Union never lost its political connection. It was a close ally to the Kuomintang, or KMT, which ruled Taiwan from the 40s to the 80s. Acting as a tool of the KMT's repression against political dissent, Bamboo Union gangsters were able to infiltrate the police, military, and organs of state. And even after the KMT's one-party rule ended and Taiwan became a democracy, the Bamboo Union's political clout never fully faded. Its income remains from organized crime, particularly extortion and sexual exploitation. But it is in the political realm that the Bamboo Union poses a severe threat to Taiwan. In 2004, Zhang Anle created the Chinese Unification Promotion Party, or CUPP, which openly advocates for reunification with China. Many of its members are accused of being connected to Bamboo Union, and CUPP thugs have attacked democracy activists from Hong Kong who fled to Taiwan. In 2017, an Asian Sentinel investigation showed close financial ties between the CUPP and Bamboo Union, including how the two groups had created a paramilitary unit to achieve their political aims through violence. Some experts even believe the Bamboo Union would provide active help to China if it ever sought to invade Taiwan. And with Lai Ching-te, a firm supporter of Taiwanese independence, winning the country's presidential election in January 2024, Bamboo Union may be pressured to ramp up their problematic actions. And that's it. This one was a bit longer than expected, but Asian organized crime can be particularly convoluted. If you enjoy this, why not subscribe and check out our videos on gangs to watch out for in Europe, Latin America, and Africa. Until next time, this was World of Crime.